sort of target ban towards them, or if it's just more AD junglers. It's going to be the Pantheon. So the Ambessa taking away, you can say that's from Gakgos, but Gryffinn's also shown that a lot of AD jungle focus as that does get narrowed, but it means Varus is up. Xin Zhao is still up. Varus going through the bans in Game 3 is a bit surprising to me, so FlyQuest must have some sort of a plan that they're going to respond with in the bot lane, and I'm really kind of curious to see what that's going to be.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a powerful pick at the moment for Poke, as well as on-hit options for him. But another powerful pick that went through that is a pretty good trade is a Rumble. Everybody likes building comps around Rumble here. And it looks like they're discussing what they want to go with it.
How are you feeling about the Galio answer yesterday that we saw? Because that obviously we saw a ton of last year, not so much this year, but it still actually looked quite good. I felt like it.
Yeah, I think it's fine still. And it depends on what else you're going to go with it, because if I'm using that as my response to Rumble, then I probably also want like a Vi pick here, and then I can do Vi with Galio. And so not only is it a good safe answer to the lane, but then I also get a Vi Galio on my team.
All right, how do you feel about the Rumble Jhin on the team?
It's a very common combo because Jhin can fall for such long range, and Rumble Equalizer also. So it's something that is very common for a good reason. Jhin also, will get some lethality in there. Rumble puts a lot of magic damage pressure, so I think it's a good core to work off of.
Yeah, and Jhin is also a safe laner, a strong laner to be able to deal with the Varus. Thanatos has liked this Aurora answer as a counter pick.
Okay.
Did bring it out as early as week 1 into Morgan. Honestly, didn't do as well as I expected him to in that matchup that week, but he is definitely our strongest laning top laner. He has the counter pick. We'll see what he can get done against Gakgos.
And you can see the stats there at the bottom of the screen. Win-loss 5-0 for Aurora so far this split. The champion's very powerful.
Especially in Thanatos' hands. He's been very aggressive with it. Then bottom lane, to complement this Varus, we need some lane power. That is a lot of lane power.
Like it.
You get the Neeko Varus. This is a very, very reliable combo. So much poke damage, so much threatening. So many threatening positions you can get yourself into.
Especially when you think of what FlyQuest wants, and generally with Rumble, with Jhin, you want some sort of hard engage support, right? But if you go towards the Rel or whatever, you're gonna get probably slapped in that 2v2. Rel, Alistar, both fit the comp, but do not do well in the 2v2, so they're gonna have to just kind of make that sacrifice is their decision. They're gonna have to seed the 2v2, or maybe hope for jungle pressure to be able to punish it, and you need that lockdown for the Equalizer and for that Jhin to be able to follow up with the Deadly Flourish. So that's a trade-off, but I expect C9 to really have pressure in that 2v2 bot side.
And since we have mirrored picks on either side of the rift, bottom lane duos locked in, top laners locked in, let's see what we get in terms of those mid-jungle bans here in the second half of draft. And there's the Galio ban to try to protect the Rumble.
So another common one, along with the Galio, that provides CC as well, that is an answer into Rumble, has been the Ornn. And so you could do stuff like that. But since they've got the Aurora, I have a very strong feeling that the Aurora is going into Thanatos' hands. Yeah, you can still have the respect, and clearly FlyQuest do, where they're like, hey, you could rotate it.
Yep.
We don't know what APA's been up to, so we're going to respect still ban the Galio. If they're still thinking along those lines, though, again, there are other CC things that you can put up there if you feel like your team still needs, more engage on their side too. But with Aurora and Neeko, that's pretty good engage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is interesting. I literally hadn't even considered that it could be APA piloting it. I just don't see Aurora as an APA champ.
Same boat as me.
They are.
Yeah, they are obviously giving that respect over. The other thing that made me think of immediately was when I think back to Neeko, when it was actually popular as mid lane, guess who played it a lot? APA. So, there is possibilities that they are getting clever. They are going to be swapping things around a bit. Xin Zhao going to be taken out. Vi is still up and available as far as some of those kind of premium AD junglers. Jarvan was banned out earlier. Pantheon was banned out earlier. And we saw, the Wukong and the Trundle already played. So is going to be a much more limited pool, but there's still things like Lee Sin. You can't fully ban out all the AD junglers in a 3-game Fearless.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to actually get that deep into the pool, but we do have the Syndra and the Mundo banned out by C9. Galio and Xin Zhao, like you guys have already mentioned, banned out by FlyQuest. Now, what will be pick number 4 for the FlyQuest side? I'm assuming you're going to wait until 5th and final pick for your mid lane.
I would think so, especially with the expectation that APA is supposed to have this weaker pool. You take a premium AD jungler, you take the Vi. I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, they banned 3 AD junglers for FlyQuest, right? So you want to take one away, limit what Blaber is going to have even more so, and then also get counterpick for quad in the mid lane. Blaber is going to go with the Nocturne, so they are maybe going to do
APA
Neeko mid.
Neeko for
so
sure.
that was kind of the thought that my mind went to. We haven't been seeing much of it, but it is going to be the swap. This is kind of cool.
And it's one of my favorite pairings with Nocturne, because Nocturne turn out the lights. It makes it these flank angle engages from not only Neeko, but also Aurora and Rakan. This is very, very intense engage. Sylas ults, a lot of ults here to steal. A lot of very good ults for Sylas to steal.
Yeah, there really are. I mean, there's a lot of, like, great. There's all these good engage ults on C9. Well, now they're all on FlyQuest too, because Quad is going to have access to them. So a lot of power on both sides. Some cool tricks, it feels like, in the draft throughout this series from C9. They've been very flexible, you know, trying to showcase that this Neeko was going to be going bot, but APA going back to something that was a tried and true pick from in the past.
And the only thing you're sad about picking a Sylas here is you can't steal your own Alistar's ultimate. That's honestly the only sort of, aw man, in this case, but I still think they'll be happy with how things are looking. Which one of these comps would you guys say has the edge?
I think they're pretty close. I mean, I like both sides. I like the strengths of both sides. Like I say, Nocturne ult completely changes all of these engage you know, attempts. Like, Neeko's already very hard for people to deal with as far as the engage, but when you also have the Rakan, you also have the Nocturne here, these can be just snap kills from Cloud9. Meanwhile, I mean, Quad on Sylas, a lot of options to steal, as we say, and you do have pretty straightforward dive stuff, like a Vi ultimate plus Rumble ult over the top, and Jhin opening up. So both of them do have their strengths. Personally, I just love teams that utilize Nocturne Darkness super well, though, so I will probably go with that side. Because I really, really like those angles, and like Neeko transforming, then you can kind of like do the tricks where you hide on the mini map, and then you turn out the lights, and they can't see you on their screens either.
Yeah, it's also worth noting, so there have been 2 pro play Neekos in mid lane this year, but none in the top 4 leagues, not in the kind of like major regions. And he is going to be playing Ignite. So he's playing Ignite Airy. He is looking to slam this lane. You know, when you're going to go with that combat summoner, you're looking to make sure you have the push to really bully Quad in these early levels. And Blaber's going to be starting on an invade. He's going to be looking to start on enemy Raptors. Gryffinn is in the area, but likely to be gone before he can actually even do anything about it.
Yeah, and I believe that ward sees the entrance on the ramp. I would consider it a pocket pick from APA, you know, because it's not very popular for a lot of mid laners, and yet he does it very, you know, reliably. And he's even done interviews talking about a lot of the, you know, Neeko passive tricks and stuff that he doesn't see other professional players do, and trying to min-max on even individual runes that you take that only interact with hitting champions. And so you quickly will turn into, you know, a minion or something to be able to deny that and get better trades on people.
Well, as the laning phase is officially underway, we've got Jat standing by for an interview with ThinkCard.
Thanks, Flowers. You guys forced a game 3. How are you feeling with the draft going into game 3?
Yeah, it's pretty explosive. I think both teams are actually pretty happy with what they have. APA is going back to his Neeko. And Neeko Nocturne, very good combo. But we do like the Alistar. We have a lot of CC for the Rumble. Jhin Rumble is a great composition, so it's gonna be really explosive.
What did you think down the stretch of that game 2 when you had the Soul for Baron trade, but then also the like inhibitor for Elder trade?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, I don't think teams can usually end the game with a Baron at that point if you have Soul, and as long as they honestly don't get like 2 inhibs, we're in a pretty good spot. So I like the guts to be able to make that call on stage. And yeah, we were a little bit behind in the early game for game 2, but we locked in and we bounced back, and that's kind of what you want to see out of the young roster like this one.
All right, I want to let you get back to the game, but what needs to happen to win this game 3?
I think Gakgos needs to neutralize the Aurora, because Thanatos Aurora, you can be a little bit oppressive in lane. And besides that, I need a crowd to have a good game.
All right, thank you very much. ThinkCard, back to the casters.
Yeah, we've definitely seen Thanatos Aurora be very oppressive. Gryffinn here makes a little pass around mid lane. Don't know if he's going to go for anything deeper, but is still stuck on the 12 CS and just has cleared on this bottom side. So pings already from Blaber. He's re-pinging the timer on those Raptors that we saw him start on. Now we got the pings from Gryffinn. So Blaber level 4 is presumably going to recontest these. And since his mid laner is a Neeko with Ignite, unless Quad is actually able to do something weird here, I mean, he already used his teleport for a reset. So those second Raptor spawns, they're already up, and Blaber's a little bit further away, and Quad already knowing, hey, we got to defend these. They're coming for them.
Okay, Vault Breaker backwards from Gryffinn. Wants to make sure he doesn't put himself in a compromised spot as Quad uses the abduct going forward into the chicken camp. Bottom lane, 200 HP on Cryogen. Quad down to 300, but his Blaber even lower. He flashes back on the wall. Gryffinn wants to follow him, but he can't quite get there. Duskbringer, first blood for Blaber and C9.
Yeah, Blaber just forces it. He's like, we have the advantage. We have the power. And once APA comes over with his Ignite, Flash following, they just fight it out. I love the confidence from Blaber, from Cloud9. Blaber also flashing kind of a little bit down from Raptor Pit, and then Gryffinn trying to flash up and over there. That is so bad for Gryffinn. FlyQuest are very, very down. They're so far behind here. Big hole in the jungle.
And I mean, Blaber didn't even have Smite when he went for the invade, so he was just looking for the fight. He knew that he was spotted. He knew that he was going to have this strong mid lane here with the Ignite, so they just commit to the play, and you can see the CS gap now in the jungle. 37 to 22 right now. Blaber has just been skyrocketed ahead.
Yeah, and with the kill here is a first blood boosted kill. So it's a 700 gold, 800 gold difference for jungle at the moment, and it's a Nocturne. A Nocturne that is going to be also a level advantage over a Vi. It is just like crazy jungle gap, and yeah, maybe I'm an overreacting jungle at the moment, but things like this literally will just win you games. You know, if you're in Blaber's shoes, like you're a jungler, you're like, okay, we win this game. Like, he is so accelerated. You're going to get your level 6 early. You can put the pressure onto the laners as well. It's just a huge, very, very good feeling and huge advantage there for C9.
It really isn't, and a lot of people obviously have talked about, you know, they're surprised that FlyQuest has made it here, has been a 2-0 team, and wasn't the expectation coming in. But it wasn't just us who were surprised by this. You know, take it back all the way to the draw show. Massu is saying, you know, Fudge is saying he thinks that we would think we're better than them. He didn't think they're better than them. He thinks they need time to grow, and, you know, they have been so much better than people expected right out the gate.
Okay, bottom lane, we could have some more problems here for Cryogen, who's below half HP. APA moving over towards the Drake, and Gryffinn once more has to vault break backwards because Blaber and C9 have control over the objective, over the river, and that is Paranoia unlocked for Blaber.
Yeah, it's just, it continues to snowball for jungle. It's such a strong feeling here for Blaber, and this is why you really like, you know, mid laners like Ignite Neeko. That's why Blaber has so much confidence here in going to these objectives and just forcing them. You saw on the minimap that whole time, yeah, Blaber is doing Dragon while throwing Qs over his back towards the brush that he's like, well, if Gryffinn is there watching, you know, I'm going to keep chucking these Qs over towards there. I'm still going to get my boosted AD while attacking this dragon. And I know that APA has mid lane priority. He'll roam over first, and that's a Neeko with ultimate ready. So, like, I'm covered here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's 20 CS lead right now for APA with more minions for him to farm, right? Yep. He is slamming this mid lane in the 1v1. You know, he's allowing Blaber to get a bit more aggressive as a result. And this is going to be tough for Quad because now you have this really accelerated Neeko who still has that short cooldown of the Ignite. This is the difficulty when you're fighting against these combat summoners is, yeah, you have your TP to come back once, but the Ignite is going to be up multiple times during that window.
And meanwhile, topside, the Thanatos Aurora is doing exactly what we expected him to do, and there's no relief coming from the jungle.
And part of the reason APA has this CS advantage also is because he went to the play with Blaber after pushing mid lane. So Quad is like, you know, I'm trying to help my jungler. Like, I know you're in a tough spot, buddy. But then every time you go to a losing play like that, you're losing CS, and you're also losing time with your boosted quest experience for being in lane. So it also feels really bad for you.
Yeah, I mean, that is honestly the worst feeling when you sacrifice your lane to go help your jungler, and then it's a losing fight anyway, and now you can't win your 1v1, and your jungler's behind, so they can't help you. And then you're like, All right, where do we go from here, team? We're scaling.
When Kobe first said boosted, I thought he was going to say helping your boosted jungler. Because it feels really bad when you're this far behind. But Blaber moves into the enemy jungle again. Just trying to keep the pressure onto Gryffinn. Massu and Cryogen are honestly not doing so hot down here in the bottom lane. Piercing arrow interrupts the recall from Massu. Blaber's going to step forward, but he might just get chain CC'd. It's a full commit coming out from FlyQuest. And Blaber decides to commit the paranoia going in after Massu. They get the kill, and it might just be 2 for nothing. Blaber's still trying to escape. Gryffinn gets out. Cryogen still running. Zven gets the long-range snipe. It's a 3-0 C9.
There's 2 snipers on Cloud9. Zven and Blaber hit the Q on the other kill, trailing there to kill Alistar and Sylas. And I mean, that's another picture perfect. Like, I have confidence in my winning lanes. Blaber's like, okay, yeah, I know. I'm face checking a level 6 Vi. I just saw you get level 6 on this blue. I don't care. my bottom,
don't matter.
Yeah, my bottom lane is pushing. I will face tank this.
And APA moved, right? And Quad was just staying mid lane. He TP'd back to mid lane and was just pushing that wave out. So yeah, APA gives up a plate, gives up a wave or two. Even after giving that up and roaming, he's up 24 CS. And Blaber is just so far ahead, already has his first completed item.
Yeah, the experimental hex plate versus tunneler plus dagger is not even remotely comparable here, as Blaber now has control over the top side river 2, guarantees an easy 3 void grubs for C9. This is a 3,000 gold lead at 9 minutes. This is nightmare fuel for FlyQuest.
Yeah, it truly is. The entire FlyQuest team will be feeling the paranoia very shortly, because the extra gold gives you more ultimate cooldown. And here's another look at the face check. Again, he has so much confidence because his bot lane can move up, and you'll see the heal comes. Vulcan flashes to get into distance to follow up on this play with Blaber 2. And here's the first snipe, the Q I was talking about. Boom, Blaber hits that one. Takes down the Jhin, then they follow up with the other ones, and I like the follow from Vulcan too, because you better go follow up on Blaber plays. Yeah. And yeah, like he's like, oh, I got a flash to get in range. He does flash and he gets there, and they pull it off.
I mean, it was a great play from C9. Honestly, I also kind of like the call from FlyQuest, because if you try to just stay under your tower, Massu's so low, you know that the jungler is already there, you know the APA is moving, you're just going to get dove really easily. So they try to do a 3-man turn, hopefully burst down Blaber. Vulcan's too fast to the play, keeps him up, and they just kind of secure that advantage that much further. And now, you know, you have that really snowballing out of control. Thanatos has the Leandries done. We heard those kind of like keys to success from ThinkGuard, but it's going to be tough.
We lost the keys.
Yeah.
The keys are somewhere on the ground in the yard.
Blaber took them. No, Blaber, they're on the ground, and then Blaber just yoinked them. So my keys now. And it's funny too, because you know, you've always heard so many interviews of people who have played with Blaber, and one of the things that's reoccurring is that, yes, he has a very strong view of how you play this game, and when he makes calls for plays, you had better just go follow up on these plays. And we're seeing he's so confident in all of them straight from the level 1, from the Raptor Seal. Here's the Dragonflight though.
All right, FlyQuest want to go forward. It's Cryogen with the Unbreakable Will ready to go as the front line. You're going to see C9 counterattack it immediately though. Pop Blossom locks up Gryffinn, and the jungler's dead again. Second kill goes over to Zven. Cryogen's out of there. It's a 2 for nothing. This game could have been an email, but FlyQuest couldn't even open it. C9 are just running them into the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, this one is, the wheels have fallen off for sure. Thanatos is TPing down. Gakgos is not even responding to the TP, so I feel like you just have to say, all right, sorry, Cryogen, you're dead. But instead, they kind of stay around. The tether from the Varus ult did land onto Gryffinn, and then the Neeko ult is there to follow. Everyone is kind of getting caught on the way out. You lose the dragon, you get crushed in the fight, and Cloud9 just gets that much further ahead.
Yeah, I like the early ult from Blaber here, just making sure, and there's going to be no reinforcements. Nobody's getting out alive. He gets the crab even on the reset there after taking the objective, so early dragons are stacking. Gold lead very, very healthy for C9. They are in perfect position to push forward the lead with the team that has so many weapons to engage.
C9's already playing the League of Legends MMO. Gentlemen, all 5 quests completed, and FlyQuest barely have one.
A lot of experience for that, too.
In the top lane, yeah.
That's supposed to be their thing. There's quest in the name.
Yeah.
They can't.
No, they're flying away. They're not even here on Summoner's Rift anymore. It's a 4,000 gold lead for C9. Thanatos is up here just kind of vibing. He's having a good time.
Is this Cloud9's year? Because they are starting out quite strong in the LCS. Return of the LCS, return of Cloud9 to the top.
They are the kings of spring, you know. Generally, when they win, it is
winter.
That's true. That's true.
We forget because we're in LA. You know, it's hard to notice.
Yeah, there's snow in other places. My mom sends me pictures of all the snow in Ohio. But there's definitely not a whole lot of problems here for C9 on the Rift right now. They've got 2 minutes until the Rift Herald spawns. They're not going to wait until then to try to force some kind of a fight as a nice Tangle Barb locks up Cryogen. That's an Alistar. Normally, you don't full commit onto an Alistar, but normally you're not 4,000 gold ahead 13 minutes into the game. They force the ulti and the flash over the wall from the FlyQuest support, and then just walk on back out.
Speak for yourself. I usually do this well. You know, I do pretty well.
This is a common Kobe Volibear game.
I'm a 4K average gold lead at
Okay, all right.
13 minutes. Don't check on those stats.
I checked the ladder. It's going to say Kobe at rank 1.
There you go. Okay, we got a quad going in.
Okay, quad trying to make something happen here, but immediately it's C9 ready to respond. I respect FlyQuest trying to get something, but at this point, it's just so hard to deal with C9 at all. FlyQuest have already lost their jungler. Now it's a double kill back over to Blaber. Gakgos wants to at least get one back on him here, and he will do just that. Fly finally on the board, but it comes at the cost of 3 of their men.
I mean, Vulcan is just responding to these plays so well. You know, he gets in, immediately blocks the Q flash from Gryffinn coming through, has his charm already up, so they're insta-charmed on the engage. Like, just look at how he responds to this. The E comes through, he sees incoming Vi, E's forward, blocks the Q flash, charms them both up. Like, that's just picture perfect from the support. And he has been there, it feels like, every time his team has needed him quietly throughout the entire series. You think about the earlier invade, he's right there with Blaber going behind the tower. You think back to even the Lulu Nidalee game. He's right there on the invade with Blaber. Right place, right time, pretty much every damn time is Vulcan this series.
Yeah, very nice from him. And in the end, even though they do claim the bounty from killing Blaber, you know, Gakgos also had to flash for that to get into the bush. And now attacking bot again. Good night.
Yep. Honestly, before you even finished the sentence, that was the end of it right there. It's another black and white screen for FlyQuest. 6,000 gold lead for C9. APA ready to pick up this bottom lane tier 1 turret right after.
Wait, what was that Teemo emote there in Flash? I need a replay. That the double Teemos eating burgers or something? It was like its eyes were knocked out.
Double Teemos eating burgers.
Let me get a replay. Let me see those emotes. They had synergy. It was same time. Did you guys see those?
I wasn't paying attention.
All right, well maybe
the one I've been noticing is I think APA is spamming something that looks like Smolder's in jail.
Yeah, I saw.
What did that dragon do deserve to get locked up?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's something from Scrims. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not sure. But look at these emotes. Those are some emotes.
I like the
oh man,
the disgruntled LCS one from is it Sona?
Oh yeah, the Sona Hermf.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like FlyQuest is a little disgruntled right now. They tried to make the move there on Thanatos. He drops the R, walks through the portal. He's immediately out, no stress whatsoever. I'm seriously struggling to find any sort of angle for FlyQuest in this game. The game feels just entirely lost already at 16 minutes, and it all snowballed from Blaber's early invade. Stridebreaker now completed alongside the Hex Plate. Gryffinn has at least finally completed his first item with the Sundered Sky, but it's just a molehill in front of a mountain.
Yeah, I mean, it feels honestly very similar to Game 1. All you can do in a position like this, keep sending it, hope that they mess up, hope that you find a perfect engage, equalizer across everyone. It's got to be the miracle play, right? You're just so far down, and we'll see if they can find something here. They're going to show up and hope they can collect some bounties.
All right, FlyQuest looking to contest Dragon number 3. Vulcan going behind enemy lines. He's tanking up a ton of damage here from the Flame Spitter, but Gryffinn is already dead. Stolen Neeko ulti, not gonna do a thing. APA killing spree there as quad falls for the 3rd time. No enemy jungler means no Dragon contest.
JDG, it said. It's a JDG burger.
Yeah, JDG burger.
JDG burger.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, okay. We'll get the lore on it afterwards. I know there's a lot of memes surrounding burger eating.
that sounds ominous. How did you make burger eating sound ominous?
Yeah, that was
Burger eating is just a fun time for everybody.
Wait, fast time.
Get Raz on the phone. Sometimes Raz, for no reason, will just talk about how, man, I love burgers.
I actually never met anyone that loves burgers more than Raz, but Zven and Vulcan with the double flash of it. So
that's JDG, right?
It's JDG. No, you're right.
Double JDG burger. But now we've got Thanatos again, just trying to get away from Quad, and Gryffinn hits him with the weirding. Gets hit by the abduct. Doesn't really matter because I don't think he's going anywhere he doesn't want to be. Thanatos now going to collect his second kill of the game. He's got to catch up. Honestly, he's falling behind.
Yeah.
Everybody else
Where's
has
the hustle, man?
You're not wrong.
Come on. Where's the grind set?
Massu's trying to catch up.
Okay, let's see what they can find here in the mid lane as Vulcan goes in for the quickness. APA's ready to follow up with a full pop blossom. There's no way home except a body bag for FlyQuest in this one, man. Vulcan does at least finally drop. Cryogen's going to claim the second kill of the game for FlyQuest at the cost of a 5-digit gold lead for C9.
Nobody on FlyQuest is worrying about any costs at the moment, Flowers.
Stop the count.
Okay? There is no cost if you ever get a kill for any reason.
That's good.
All good.
That's good. It's always a thumbs up.
But
are you fist bumping on that kill?
I'm bumping that kill.
Me? Yeah, I am.
It's an ironic bump, though.
Same. Yeah. I'm in there.
Yeah.
We got him.
You don't fully mean it, but that's all right. Interview with Blaber after this game. We have to put the asterisk there because technically a meteor could still fall and hit the C9 PCs, but that's most likely not going to happen, and this is pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah. Or a giant burger.
A meteor that's also a burger.
Maybe, Massu, remember last year when he spilled the coffee on one of their own computers? And it like blew up the computer because as he was cleaning up, their game was finished, but he like dumped an entire coffee into a computer. And APA was the one who had to play next, I remember.
Yeah, true.
So APA got the sabotaged computer. So they had to replace the whole computer. So maybe if Massu can sneak over to the other side and dump a coffee into APA's computer, we could have something happen here.
Well, we've got something happening in top lane. Pop Blossom's already set up the first kill. Can't finish my sentence before the second one comes through. Zven is on a rampage. Quad is dead. And the tier 2 turret is under pressure. It's 11,000 gold in under 20 minutes for C9. Baron is spawning, and I don't think he's going to live very long, boys.
I concur, Flowers. This is why I like watching teams that have so crazy engage with, Nocturne and Neeko and Rakan, because some of these fights that we're watching, like one fight Vulcan flashes on you, then the next fight APA flashes on you. There is a Baron that's being like slightly contested here. Gryffinn is not worrying about a cost at the moment, and he's like, all right, maybe I just go over there for the miracle, but they can't even get past the clone. So gonna back off, and
that's a problem when you can't get past the clone.
Yeah, can't even get past the clone.
The clone is stronger than anyone on their team at this point in the game.
You're like, whoa, there's a clone in that brush. Let's back it up, buddy.
Guys, hold on now.
Hold on now there, partner.
The clone is rich. The clone is also on Cloud9, so you don't know what that clone's capable of,
that's
buddy.
true. We don't know.
Schrodinger's clone.
That's a clone with the mage eyes. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, he's already got 10 pages in his book, and there's only going to be more from here. Cryogen's in the bottom side. River jumps in. They try to make their play onto the Cloud9 AD carry. They do at least grab the kill onto APA, but it costs everybody who was part of the move, and it might just cost even more than that. Quad still trying to escape as Vulcan tags him. Sylas shouldn't die here, right?
Nah, it's good.
Okay.
All good.
All right, he's chilling.
Not worrying about the costs. I don't know. Maybe he's not all good.
Uh-oh. Thanatos goes between worlds. Vulcan's ready to back him up yet again. Nice knock-up with the quickness. Gryffinn, okay, he lives. He lives. Honestly, not bad. In a game like this, every time you live, that's a fist bump.
That's a
right
dub.
there. You're
For
feeling
how
good
long?
about it.
For how long?
Not
they're
very
inside
long.
the base with Baron.
Not long.
Not very long because they've got Baron at 21 minutes and they're breaking 2 inhibitor turrets at the same time. Bottom lane inhibitor already out of the picture as FlyQuest are respawning. That is the silver lining here. They do have fast respawn timers. TP showing up as the equalizer comes down. C9 now having to try to deal with Gakgos. The burst goes through and Thanatos falls. FlyQuest get a pick as Vulcan wants to see if they can get anything else back. Piercing arrow over the top, followed by the auto attack. Zven's gonna get one there. Blaber executes Cryogen. Doesn't really matter what the Alistar can try to do right there. Ulti or not, you are gone.
Yeah, that's just mean. I mean, nothing there. It's the one shot, pop the ults, go back, get your dragon then. And congratulations, Dragon Soul achieved for Cloud9.
Yeah, and it's looking like first seed going to be achieved for Cloud9 as well. You know, really did have what we expected to be, you know, that really tough opponent in TL at the start, but things have really kind of been flipped on their heads because TL at the end of the day ended up with the 1-2. Lion ended up, you know, 1-2. So those teams that were expected to be up at the top didn't end up there at the end of the Swiss stage, though of course it was a quick Swiss stage, and it's making me pretty excited to see what's going to happen in the playoff bracket. You know, will these upsets continue to happen, or will things kind of go back more to expected?
Thanatos ended up missing his spells and still chunking Massu for half HP, so it's very difficult for FlyQuest to hold any position outside of their own base. That bottom lane inhibitor already down. Remember, mid lane inhibitor exposed, and C9 still only a few seconds at least left on the Baron.
Also worth mentioning, this is not going to be the last game. We do still have the last chance match that is going to be 6 versus 7 seed to get that last spot in playoffs. That's going to be Dig versus TL, speaking of TL, who is going to have to win their way in against Dignitas, who was coming off of a dub earlier today.
And I feel like a lot of people were expecting Dignitas to struggle at the start of the year. I think we all had them either 7th or 8th in our power rankings going into the opening of 2026. But TL, we also all had them like top 1 or top 2, except maybe for Kangas because he had to move one of those spots for Shopify. But that's a pretty big surprise that TL's having to fight for their life in the best of 1 after this. If Dignitas can knock TL out of contention and move on to bracket play themselves, that would be huge for them.
It definitely would be. Here we go. APA in.
APA in. Everybody on FlyQuest out. Gryffinn's the first kill. Blaber goes underneath the Nexus turret. Surely he should die here for that as Cryogen drops next. FlyQuest trying to just keep anybody alive somehow. Blaber is not yet dead because the Guardian Angel he had previously purchased resurrected him. You don't normally expect to see the jungler with the GA fully complete at 24 minutes, but C9 is going to slam this third game even harder than the first. They will average more than 1 kill per minute, and they will claim that 3-0 spot heading into the bracket stage.
Wow, what a series here. Kind of quite a roller coaster because they slammed 2 of the games. The mid game was very competitive. You know, Lounge, how are we feeling about the end of the day so far? 1 more left, a little bonus action coming up.
Speed run. Yeah. I think C9 really wants to see that tiebreaker game, but specifically, we're going to have Blaber for the interview. That was a vintage Blaber performance.
Yes, it was. When Blaber initially came onto the scene, that was somebody that had no fear, would take plays like that, and for somebody as new as Gryffinn to the scene, you don't know how to react to it. He's probably gonna look back at the VOD and be like, what the hell, I could have done this, I could have done that.
Yeah.
And now he'll know, because Blaber caught him. But yeah, it does, this is like very vintage Blaber in terms of just knowing exactly where he can take advantage of specific tiny things.
Yeah, I want him to answer for his crimes.
Yeah, in his early pathing, he's about to answer for his crimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does remind